I don't think I've got the words.
Retro Ghetto.
Wow, I was not expecting that. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Retro Ghetto. So you may remember a year or so ago now, I went to the town of Colville in Leicestershire and I went to a local pawn shop known as Fast Cash. And when I came back from there, I was waxing lyrical on my videos, basically making you guys aware of the craziness that is the stock room upstairs at this pawn shop. I'd never seen so many video games and consoles, rarities, all in like one place at one time. And unfortunately at the time I wasn't able to film it, so I did my best to sort of like relay what I'd seen to you guys. So today I went back to that same pawn shop, Fast Cash in Colville, and upon entry the owner was there and he said, I suppose you want to take a look upstairs again? And I said, absolutely. And I said to him, I suppose I'm not allowed to film again? And he said, go for it. Then that was the only green flag I needed. So this time I can actually show you guys what I witnessed upstairs a year ago. It's a little bit more organised now, which made it easier for me to dig through. And not only was I given the green flag to actually go through all this stuff and film it, but I basically had my pick of the bunch. So I was the first person to go up there, see it, and be able to buy whatever I wanted from this unreal collection of video game memorabilia, games, consoles, and everything in between. But just take a look at this.
This is the room that I remember. Wow, let there be light. Look. It looks a little bit more organised than last time we came. Just three SNESes sitting there. Mega Drives, 32X. This place is crazy. What's in here? Oh my god. What is this? Fourth Mario All-Stars? Mega CD. Saturn. Everywhere you look. Bundles of Game Boys. N64s. Man, unbelievable.
I told you guys it was crazy, right? That's just a small section. There's a lot more to come, but I want to intersperse this video with some of my pickups. So as always, we'll go in, YouTube style of going in sort of ascending order. I'm going to start with the cheapest first. And the first game I picked up was PlayStation 1. Viewers of my channel will know I've been on a real sort of PlayStation 1 kick lately. So when I saw all these boxes full of PS1 titles, I picked up quite a few today. The first one being Rayman. This is a 1995 UB Pictures developed platformer. It says on the back of the box, you can discover the world of Rayman where action, challenge and technology awaits you. 60 different levels and 6 amazing worlds, eye-popping animations using 65,000 colours. We don't use that as like a barometer anymore, do we? We don't sort of like hype video games or consoles based on how many colours or how many bits. But yeah, all 65,000 colours I think went into this one. And that's what I love about this game. I love a 2D game on a 3D system. I say that all the time. I did have Rayman 2, and that was part of the cull I did with my PS1 when I went from like some games I wasn't too keen on, so I'm now very much sort of all killer no filler on my PS1. Rayman 2 kind of strayed away from this 2D platforming. It kind of went more 3D as a lot of games were doing in this era. That really isn't for me, so I won't be pursuing the other Rayman games. This is where it's at for me. This one brings back a lot of nostalgia. I'm trying to remember, to be honest, whether I had this as a chipped game or if I had it as a demo. It's really hard for me to remember because I don't have that visual stimulus, the memories of it, because they were all chipped games anyway. They would have just come on like a chipped, like rewritable CD disc. So I don't sort of have this image in my mind. Part of me thinks it might have been the demo. Anyway, either way, that first level is proper like nostalgia for me. And yeah, really nice to be adding a game which contains nostalgia and a game which really does deserve its place on the all-killer, no-filler PS1 shelf. So yeah, nice game with which to start the pickups from this crazy haul. This was £10 at CEX. It was £10 today. But where I give you prices, just know that I did get a bit of a bundle deal as well. So if I tell you this was £10, the reality was it actually cost me less than that because I got some very good prices today. And that takes me on to the second game that I picked up. And it just caught my eye because it's really not a game that you see very often at all. And that is Bomberman Land on the Wii.
Bomberman Land on Wii は体を動かしてミニゲーム打って走って滑って飛んでリモコン振って引いて叩いてさあみんなで対戦ボンバー一人でもみんなでも楽しいボンバーマンランド Wii ハドソン DS で RPG も
This 2008 action puzzle video game is the 5th game in the Bomberman Land series, and this one is a series of mini games. I know what you're thinking. But unlike most mini game compilations that are on the Wii, of which there's a whole plethora of them, this one's actually supposed to be good and quite fun. Also, it does have a classic mode as well, so if you just want to play old school Bomberman, you're able to do that via this. And it's very surprising how few copies there are of this game in stock at CEX currently. Now, there's only 12 games currently in stock. Now, if you think 12 seems like quite a lot, well, Bomberman's a huge franchise. The Wii was one of the best-selling consoles of all time. So to only have 12 copies in stock nationwide, yeah, definitely an uncommon one, this one. Again, I paid £10 for this. It's £12 currently at CEX. If it's something that you're interested in, might be worth picking this one up sooner rather than later with there being so few copies in stock and apparently it being a decent game. But with the two sort of like smaller purchases out of the way, let's take a further look at this stock room. So as you've seen, a crazy amount of PlayStation 1 titles. I've spent a long time not only digging through all those boxes, but also having to put them back. Top tip for anybody that ever goes hunting anywhere, always put the stuff back or you might not get a further invite. But yeah, next on the list of pickups was one that I've been after for a bit of time now because it completes a subset for me, and that is Crash Team Racing. So this is a 1999 kart racer developed by Naughty Dog, and it's the 4th of 5 Crash Bandicoot PS1 releases. Players must race against the egomaniacal nitrous oxide to save the Earth from destruction. Of course, how else would you save the Earth from destruction? If not by winning a series of kart races. You can select one of 15 different Crash Bandicoot characters, although only 8 are available from the start of the game, so of course 7 are available to unlock, and that's what I love about this era of consoles, right? I love that about games. I said it recently about the Tekken series, Tekken 3 in particular. I remember playing that game over and over and over again to unlock the characters. That's disappeared now, right? It's all DLC, put a bit of money into it. I hate that. I loved when you used to play a game and you had that replayability because you wanted to unlock every character. Anyway, I'm going on a rant. Back to Crash Team Racing. This one was really well received. Electronic Gaming Monthly gave it a 9.3 out of 10. Official PlayStation Magazine said it's the game that made kart racing cool. I mean, it's not like Sony had a vested interest to say that, right, against the powerhouse that was Nintendo kart racers at the time. Obviously, Mario Kart, which set the ball rolling on this genre. There was also Diddy Kong Racing, which is much beloved, but at the time, this was considered to be one of the best kart races ever released, and as I say, that does reflect in sort of the reviews and how much people still love this game to this day. But for me, as much as finally getting to play it, because this is one that I missed out on as a kid, I can now complete that subset. So I've now got all the Crash Bandicoot games on the PlayStation 1. All killer, no filler, right? But I don't think Crash Bandicoot missed on the PS1. So yeah, delighted with that. Great to keep adding PlayStation 1 games to that ever-growing collection. It's not just collecting PS1 that I enjoy, it's learning about it. Because I was never a big PS1 guy up until a few months ago. And now I think I've developed quite a bit of, a decent collection. I've got quite a few heavier hitters in there, and yeah, just loving playing and collecting and learning about that system. But yeah, we've still got a lot more crazy stuff to dig through at Fast Cash, and I've still got my biggest purchases yet to show you.
I won't go through all that. It's a workout in itself, isn't it? There's more. There is more. So for those microcomputer people out there, I mean, there's obviously more video games. I mean, it goes without saying at this point. Just, you know, Amiga sitting about there, 32-bit. This. So this apparently, I think this is a 29-inch, the gentleman was saying, and it's apparently like the equivalent of a Sony PVM, but I think it's NEC. And you can use it with computers, you can use it with consoles. Very high-end CRT, as you can see, it's huge. Very heavy, I'm sure. Just lost for words, to be honest. Lost for words. Never seen this one before. Dokapon Kingdom.
Retro Ghetto.
Right, okay, so now it's time to take a look at some of the more valuable pieces that I picked up today. And first is a series which has become synonymous with Xbox 360 collectors, and that is Crash Time 2. The Crash Time series is based on a German TV show, Alarm für Cobra. I believe is how you say it, maybe. My German's not great. But basically, yeah, a German TV show, and it spawned 5 games. Now, that's a lot of games to come out for one console generation, and unsurprisingly, they didn't sell great here in the UK. And as a result, they've become somewhat rare, somewhat sought after. So, yeah, Crash Time 2 is one of the more expensive ones. I believe I've now got 2, 3, and 5. So obviously, I want to get the full set. But Crash Time 2 is currently showing at CEX at £25, but that's rubbish. You're never going to get this game for £25. It's not coming into stock. The cynic in me would say that CEX keep those prices low so that when you trade it in, they can give you a lesser price for it and then put the prices up to where it more realistically is. And speaking of how realistic it is, if you look at eBay currently, there was a cover reprinted variant, some for £75, and there was one outright bought for £100. So yeah, don't sleep on the Crash Time games. They're basically mission-based driving games. So I think part of it is that you're a police officer and that you're sort of chasing down various different people as per the TV show. I'm not an expert in German TV, so yeah, you'll be seeing it on screen for yourselves now, but that's 3 of the 5, and yeah, I'm delighted to pick that one up. Now that takes me to my favourite and coincidentally most expensive purchase of the day. Now sadly I wasn't able to add any Super Nintendo cardboard to my collection. There was some real nice titles there, but I already had them. The only game there that I didn't already have was Lethal Enforcers, and when we sort of looked at the pricing for that game, that's ridiculous, right? There was copies of that in lesser condition selling on eBay for like £400. So I said, look mate, there's no point. I'm not buying that today. And it's one of them, like, I will have to get to it one day, but I don't like big box stuff because I can't display it with my games. I'm actively trying to buy a smaller box version of Super Metroid just so I can put it on the shelf and I don't have to have it awkwardly positioned elsewhere. But anyway, sadly I didn't come home with Lethal Enforcers, but I was able to get a very nice PlayStation 1 game, and that is Rival Schools. Or Rival Schools United by Fate, to give it its full title. Originally the series started life as an arcade game before its 1998 PS1 release. Capcom also released a sequel to this 2 years later, Poetic Justice. I'm not sure if that got a PAL release on PlayStation 1. I know it was released on Dreamcast. They don't stock it at CEX, so I'm sure somebody more knowledgeable of that can let me know in the comment section, but I think maybe that only got a PAL Dreamcast release. But the story of this one is several Japanese schools are the victim of attacks and kidnappings, and the story is told through a series of cutscenes which ultimately leads to Rival Schools. It also features Sakura, who you would later see in the Street Fighter franchise, and yeah, I just love my Capcom fighters. This one is best described as a polygonal Marvel vs. Capcom game. Now, I don't like polygonal graphics of this era, particularly in sort of like action games or sort of like open world platformers, but when it comes to fighters, one-on-one fighters, I don't mind it so much. I think they do stand up a bit better. I've got quite a few now on the PlayStation 1, and I was originally supposed to be going for the full PlayStation 1 Street Fighter set, but that's slowly turning into the full Capcom set. If I'm being honest, it's slowly turning into the full fighter set. I just love the genre, and there's something about it on this console, and I mean, just take a look at the artwork, right? Just stunning. This is actually a 2-disc version, so one disc is the Arcade Perfect port, and another is Enhanced Evolution. I'm not quite sure what the Enhanced Evolution version is. Once again, you fighting experts out there, let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, this is not a cheap game by any means. It's currently in stock at CEX for £75. I think there's 2 of them in stock. And yeah, this is going to be getting added to my PlayStation 1 fighting set. And there's quite a few now that I'm building up a backlog of. I think we might even attempt it on this week's vlog. I'm going to sit down and play quite a few of these PS1 fighters because, yeah, I just want to get my hands on and sort of like figure it out for myself. But as with all of the fighters, especially Capcom, just flicking through the art in the manual and the cover art, it just like gets me going. I don't think there's any art in all the video games like there is for fighter art, which is why I'm such a big advocate of collecting for Street Fighter, whether it be t-shirts, standees, action figures. I don't know, there's just something really intoxicating for me about character art for fighters, particularly of this generation. And yeah, I'm absolutely delighted to be able to add another heavy hitter to my fast growing PlayStation 1 collection. And I want to give a massive shout out once again to Fast Cash at Colville for making my day, for allowing me not only to go up there but to film it so I can share it with you guys and to have my pick of those games. And yeah, delighted with what I've come back with. And it's just another facet of this hobby that I love so much. Like, you never know where the day is going to take you. I went to a wet, miserable Colville. I expected to nip into a couple of charity shops and a CEX, of which I didn't find anything. And then to call in there and this to develop from it, I just love it, man. That's why I love going out on the hunt. That just thrill of never knowing what you're going to find or where it's going to take you. And yeah, once again, massive shout out to the good folks over at Fast Cash Colville. I couldn't be happier with my pickups today. Hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comment section below what you saw throughout this vast array of games, arcade machines and everything else in between. What would you have picked up? What would you have tried to purchase? And yeah, as always, thank you very much for watching. Play your games, keep it retro. I'll see you on the next one in a bit.
You sorted all that retro, yeah? Where's the retro section?
Oh, come on.
I thought I was going to walk in and there's just going to be a plethora of...
You know that.